Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience and those tuning in online. We're glad you all could be with us as well. We're excited to welcome singer-songwriter Greg Scott to our program today. Greg got to be known to a lot of people thanks to the hit show on NBC, Songland, but he's also an accomplished individual who's been able to share his love of music with all of us and, of course, hear from his fans in return. His new single is called I Still Do. We'll tell you guys a little bit more about that later. For our radio audience, you guys will hear it at the end of our broadcast. We also will let you guys know how to stay connected with Greg as he's kind of keeping us posted of what's happening with him this year. Greg, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Hey, Cyrus. Thanks for having me. Love the show.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. So, this is not the year. We've been saying this a lot, Greg, and I'm sure you feel the same way. This is not the 2020 a lot of people expect it, but the great thing about it for you is that you've been able to give us some great music along the way. I noticed when I was prepping for this segment, one of the interviews I got a chance to catch up on, you were able to kind of talk to us, about not only, of course, your love of music, but also, what this experience has been like for you to share it with the world. What has that reflection been like for you, Greg, to be able to do what you love and to see the way that people are responding to it?
Man, like you said, the times are really tough right now, but for, musicians and creatives, not only in music, people that, are out there in the public, it gives us something deeper to, help people through and share our experiences so they can relate to, people that are in the public. And it's definitely given me a voice and allowed me to, because I'm going through it just like everybody else, and my family. I got 2 kids and a wife, and we're trying to support and keep everything going during these times, and it's been tough. And I've been very vocal about it, and if I can help just one person, realize that they're not alone, that's something that's very important to me.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that, Greg, because I think for a lot of us, we have all turned to music kind of to help us through this time. Ironically, as someone who creates music, I'm curious, is that kind of been one of the things that's kind of helped you in dealing with these times too?
Yeah, definitely. It's just like a journal or, a diary at night. I sit down and I write, and I really talk about true events and things I go through, and it's allowed me to kind of vent and get out all my stuff and encourage. My music is really about empowerment and, getting through strife and never giving up and things like that. It's basically a lot of my, subject in my song. So it's really helped me through it as well.
I mentioned this year, with the music, as I said, you have the new single, I Still Do. Another single that's gotten attention this year is Strictly Taboo as well. Talk to us about that, because, I think one of the things that people have said online about you, Greg, has been the way that you seem to be singing the words of others. Like people hear your music, like, you know what, I know what that feels like. Do you think that kind of ties into what you just said about just like this is kind of like a journal for you? It really is the words of a lot of people.
Yeah, and that's something I always strive for, is just to be real and authentic, and and listening to other people's stories and putting those into my songs is important to me too, because I'm only one person, one life, and to incorporate all these other experiences from other folks, and that's why collaborating is such a big part of my life, and something that I have always gravitated towards is getting energy from other people and being able to, use my vessel, use my voice to, get their messages out as well.
I mentioned, Greg, that people got to know you. A lot of us got to know you through Songland. There is that powerful video of you performing the song Miracle, right, and seeing the way that the others were responding to it. I want to talk about experiences like that. Of course, the Songland experience, but what is it like for you to be in front of people? I know it's kind of difficult these days, but you have these great memories, Greg, to be able to reflect on, right? so what is it like for you to be up there performing and to see people getting it?
Well, it's something that I've experienced since I was a little kid. My dad's a singer, and has had a band since before I was born, in the 70s and all this. And I basically grew up singing in his band, and he put me up there, and my fondest memory of my first performance really was in front of like 2,000 people, and I'm like 7 years old singing Caribbean Queen, Billy Ocean, and that kind of started the bug, and that was just like that. I needed it every time, every moment I could get, and it's crazy right now because I didn't realize, but I mean I was performing 5 nights a week, in front of not always 2,000 people, but thousands to 100 to whatever, and it basically just stopped. And I didn't realize how much energy I was giving out every night, and then to not do that. It's just that's part of that struggle that I've been going through, and my family's been going through, but we're getting through it.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, the great thing is, I mean, as I said, you've been able to truly garner fans around the world, and they are really rallying around you. For those who are just tuning in, you're listening to Conversations Live. Greg Scott is our guest for this segment. We're talking to Greg not only about the musical journey he's been on, but also what it's been like for him to share that experience with all of you. As I mentioned, I Still Do is a new single. We got it through our friends at Amazon.com. You guys can get it through your favorite online retailer. I mentioned social media earlier, Greg. I want to go back to that because that is kind of the way that you've been able to, like I said, to perform for us, to talk to us, to kind of keep us posted.
Yeah.
I mean, did you know going in that was going to be a big part of this experience for you, being able to use platforms like Instagram to be able to stay connected?
No, I didn't, and thank God for this. And, technology has definitely kept us connected. Like I said, I've grown up on the stage and actual humans and actual energies from people, and really, that's a big part of my life. Like I said, with collaboration, it's the same thing. You're collaborating with an audience, but social media, it definitely gives us a platform to still stay connected, and I'm still getting used to it as far as like, being by myself and just like looking at my phone, that's something that I'm still working on, but I'm so grateful for it. And we have stuff planned in October. Is probably going to be my first like big show that I'll do over Zoom, and we're going to be doing a collaboration with some companies and getting sponsors and things like that. So it's definitely going to be kind of a big moment. And I haven't performed like a real show since March, so it's been really wild, man. So I'm looking forward to that. But until then, I'm obviously doing live streams and little things here and there. But yeah, we'll be building up to that.
Right. Well, I think, again, that is one of the things that people appreciate, the fact that you are able to stay connected. And again, like we said earlier, Greg, I mean, it helps us too, right? I mean, it allows us to have a sense of normalcy because we're able to enjoy music, right? To be able to have that for sure. So I want to ask you, I mean, you, of course, I knew about your family because of conversations you've done before and also social media. I think I've always said to people, about life that the important thing is always about the why. Do you think that kind of one of the things that kind of kept you motivated, knowing what your why was, what your purpose was?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because before I met my wife and before I had kids, I was completely different. Obviously, we all change and evolve through our life. But once, I realized the gravity in how much, my children mean to me and my wife and everything. It added so much more meaning to what I was writing about specifically, and to keep going, because this business beats you down like every day. I mean, there'll be like talking about Songland, for instance, and then the pandemic is just like these huge ups and huge downs, and then this opportunity. This is the one that's going to shoot us to the stratosphere. It's going to be the one, and then boom, you get a gut punch, the next day. So that basically, when all that is happening, I just look at my family and I go, this is the rock. This is what keeps us going. And I'm not giving up. Looking at my two sons' faces, they're like, "Daddy, what's next?"
Yeah.
So like, there's nothing like motivation. Like, and for me, that's what keeps me going every day.
Well, I tell you, it has to be something that, I mean, people can look at. But I want to ask you one more thing, Greg, and then we're going to remind our audience that they can stay connected with you. Because the other thing I noticed, even in looking at some of the comments on your post, is that not only are people enjoying the music, they also are enjoying that you're an inspiration. Is that something that you kind of, and I know you said you started performing early, did you know kind of growing up that by doing what you love, that you were going to be able to remind people and show people what they could do?
Yeah, you know what? Being from a small town, it's harder to come up from, but it gave me that backbone and that kind of dream of you can be anywhere. You can be in the middle of an almond orchard and be playing your guitar and singing and be like, yeah, this is possible. We just have to take the steps necessary, and that's me, moving away, but learning, everything I did in my small town is what led me to that. And watching my dad perform, basically, seeing the reaction from crowds and seeing that, someone might have came that didn't know him and was having a bad time, and anything in their life, before they got to that show, and then to see their face light up, and then all of a sudden they're moving, they're dancing, they're forgetting their problems. That was the stuff I was watching day in and day out, and that's what inspired me to and just gave me the inspiration, and then for me to pass that along to my generation now, it's just, I'm super grateful, and that's kind of where it stemmed from. And if I can inspire anybody, that's what it's all about.
Well, I definitely know that's happening, Greg, and we appreciate you not only being able to do that, but also continuing to give us great music along the way. Again, everyone, Greg Scott has been our guest for this segment. Great conversation with you, Greg. Make sure you guys do get the new single, I Still Do. Hey, no, I appreciate you and the time. And, Greg, let our audience know, where's the best place for them to stay connected? I mentioned Instagram. Is that the best place?
Yeah, that's probably like the first, stop that I make, when I start uploading things. Greg Scott Music on Instagram, and then we have Facebook is a place where I really update, and then my website is the official gregscott.com. You can find me there, but a lot of my music is always uploaded like on Spotify. That's the first stop as well. So. But Amazon is out there, iTunes, everywhere. So, but if you just put in Greg Scott Music, you'll find me.
There you go. Yeah, he's easy to find. Greg, man, again, congratulations to you. Really appreciate this, and looking forward to our next conversation together, man.
Yeah, me too. Thank you, Cyrus.
Hey, more than welcome. Definitely want to thank our good friend Zach Tepperman for setting up this chat with us for today, and thank all of you for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let's make today amazing. Take care.